In grade 1, their unit about who we are looks at them and their family, and they draw family trees, they learn the names of all of their family, where they're from. When they come to grade 5, they're looking at who they are in their class and the connections that they've got to other places, almost like an entrance into the middle school understanding of individual society. Our community one, how we organize ourselves in grade 1 is who's Mr. Bremner, who's Mr. Rotuno, who's my class teacher, who are the IEs, and they learn the names of the people in the school, and they draw pictures and they learn to use the names, which is why every child in elementary school goes, "Hello, Mr. Bremner," because they've all learned it in grade 1. By the time they get to how we organize ourselves in grade 5, they're looking at businesses, and they're looking at how the economy works, and it's a much broader focus. They're still using the same subjects, the same curriculum. You do your math, English, science, and pulling in the information that they need, but it's a much stronger focus. So they do each one of these once every year, and they build on what they learned in the past year. These are the 6 curriculum subjects. When we talk about curriculum, this is what we're teaching them in EY and in elementary. We have social studies, which is your history, geography, text subjects. Math, we all love math. The kids don't all love math. Arts, which can be music, art, and drama, all come into the arts category. Science, we just call it science in elementary, and then it branches in middle school. Physical, social, and personal education is PE, health, your learning about how we interact together, how to do reflections, these sorts of things. And then language covers English, Chinese, Japanese, Korean, French, German, all the different languages that they do. This is a new section to the PYP circle. So the agency part is about giving students their own voice in the classroom, about giving them choice about what they learn, and about letting them take control of the learning that's happening. Action is having them do something. It's all very well to learn about who they are in their class, who the other different people are. But if they're not going to do anything with the learning, is it very meaningful? Not really. Now you'll see action continues up in MYP and it continues in DP, but it's called something different. And then the exhibition is what they do at the end of grade 5 as a celebration of all that they've done in the elementary school. And they can choose their own topic, they can choose how to present, they do their own research, they form their own groups. It's, as a teacher, incredibly stressful. For students, they love it because they've got carte blanche to do what they need to do and learn interesting topics. And for those of you that have had students in grade 5 in the last couple of years, you'll know the joy of it. For those of you with children in grade 5, you're about to get it because they start now. At the centre of the circle, now this is at the centre of all of the circles, it's approaches to learning and approaches to teaching. Approaches to learning is the one that you guys will hear about because it comes on the reports. It's self-management skills, it's communication skills, it's research skills, it's social skills, and it's thinking skills. These 5 make up the approaches to learning, and we do them from EY all the way through to Diploma Program. What it looks like in EY is different to what it looks like in Diploma Program. We want to build their skills every year as they get more and more able. And at the center of the circle is the IB Learner Profile, which we'll talk about when we do our activity. This is just the primary years program. I've been doing IB for 11 years, and I still am learning about this circle. You're getting a 10-minute introduction to the circles, and we're going to talk about the very center at the end. So it represents a huge amount of what's happening in elementary and EY. Now you can see the similarities between the PYP one and the MYP one. Okay? If we start on the outside, we've still got internationally minded focus. We still want them to learn about their country, other countries, and each other's countries. When we come in a little bit, our subjects have changed slightly. We've gone from 6 subjects to 8 subjects. Because you'll see that what we had in language in elementary is now split into 2. There's language and literature, and there's language acquisition. So one is their mother tongue, the language that they're fluent in, and language acquisition is learning a second language. Similarly, down at the bottom, where it says, in PYP we just have art, in MYP it comes to the arts and design. Now the arts can be music and drama and art itself. Sciences can split into chemistry, physics, biology. Physical and health education is PE and health and advisory. Individuals and societies can be geography, history, entrepreneurship. Mathematics, we do it as algebra, geometry. We do them as topic courses. And all of the AP courses fall into these categories. But every subject that they do, in MYP, they do one of each of these around the circle. In the PYP circle, we had action, which is taking action with your learning. In MYP, it gets more diverse. So you've got action and you've got service. Action is doing something with your learning, and service is giving back to a community of people. So the book drive that they're doing is service. And the volunteering at the dog shelter that they do is service. And the bake sales that they do to raise money is all service. In grade 8, they do a community project where they work in groups to raise awareness about an issue that's in their community. And in grade 10, they're required to do a personal project. There's not a requirement to do community project in grade 8, but it's good practice. And we believe it's good for them as students to do community projects. There is a requirement that they do personal project in grade 10. And it's a big project. I'm supervising one of the grade 10s this year. It's a lot of work. Not the supervision, the work that the student has to do. They produce a 15-page report about an issue or a topic that they've chosen, and they do their own project and they have to document the process that they're going through. Again, we've got approaches to teaching and approaches to learning. Those approaches to learning keep going through PYP, MYP, DP. It's your research, communication, all of the ones on the report. There's also global contexts, and that sort of links to the international minded side of things. It's how is my learning in INS or in music or in math related to what's happening in the world? And so they're learning about, news articles or events in history and tying them to what they're learning in class. And in the very middle, we've got the learner profile. Now there's similarity from PYP to MYP. It's almost the same circle in DP. On the outside, we've got internationally minded, because we want them to go in from DP to university, being internationally minded and understanding points of view. In MYP, we had 8 subjects. In DP, we come back down to 6 again. So there's studies in language and literature is the top. That's your mother tongue that they would have done as language and literature in MYP. There's language acquisition, which is their second language. Sciences, again, that can be chemistry, physics, biology, psychology. The arts, which is, a lot of students here actually will swap the arts to do 2 sciences. And then there's math and individual societies. Students are required to take one of each of these at diploma. And they can change the arts for a science if they know they want to go into a science field. The next circle is For each of these ones, they're scored up to 7 points. This is the maximum number of points they can get for each subject. Which means the total they can get for these is 42 points as the highest level of diploma. That's if they get top marks in all of their assignments and essays and things, they're going to get 42 points for their diploma. For these ones, they can get 1 point each extra, which takes it to 45. So they get 1 point for doing creativity, activity, and service. They get 1 point for theory of knowledge, and they get 1 point for the extended essay. And they need to do one of these to be able to get the full IB diploma. Again, in the middle, we've got approaches to learning skills, your communication skills, your research, your self-management, and they get a lot more complicated diploma. And they'll use their approaches to learning when they're doing these projects and in their subjects. And at the very middle, we've got the IB learning profile. Now, parents ask, what curriculum do you teach in IB? What IB curriculum? What does it look like? You can use any curriculum in IB. You can use state standards from any country and make them fit. You can use the IB published scope and sequence documents, which go from early years all the way through to diploma. You can take AP curriculum, you can take GCSEs, and you can make them fit into these categories. But if you see the circles, you can follow the pathway out from the center to see how they all connect together. In elementary, the yellow one, they do languages, and it turns into language acquisition and language and literature, which turns into language acquisition and studies in language and literature. Your social studies becomes individuals and societies. Your arts splits into arts and design, and then goes into arts and secondary, with the design aspect becoming more of a mathematics project. Your sciences come straight out with the different science topics. I find this more helpful to understand than these, because this is just what your children are learning about, yeah, and how it grows each time. And we want them to be well-rounded students. We want them to have experience in all of them. I know that my own kids, one of them is not very good at art, okay, and he's not very strong down this side, but is amazing at science and amazing at languages and is going to excel up that way. My other son is excellent at arts and design and tinkering and things and math, and I think, he's only 7, but I can see him already being very strong down this side of the circle and not so much with the sort of individuals and society stuff. And every student has got their own strength, the same as all of you have got your own strengths. And it's important to recognize that some children are going to excel in some areas of the circle and not in others, and that's okay. We want them to have the experience, and we want them to have the opportunity to excel where they are going to be capable and able to do well. Do you have any questions about this before I move on to the next part? So at the center of each of the circles is the learner profile, and this is where I'm going to get you to do a bit of talking and thinking, okay? There are 10 learner profile attributes, and we're going to talk about what they mean and how we can show them, because we have these discussions with all of the students. You can talk in English, you can talk in Korean, you can talk in Mandarin, I don't mind, but we'll all talk together and we'll translate as needed. So the first one is being a risk taker, okay? Have a think of, how do you say this in Chinese? I do this for a kid. How do you say risk taker in Chinese? Louder, please, Angela. Would you agree?
Yeah.
Yeah? Korean? How do you say this in Korean? Korean speakers? Miss Sherry's got it for you. Okay? So have a think what it means to be a risk taker. Okay? We also ask our students to be inquirers. Okay? Chinese speakers, what's inquirer in Chinese? Where you ask lots of questions and want to find out more.
探究者.
Yes? Korean speakers, what does it mean to be an inquirer where you ask lots of questions? Okay, thank you very much. I'm going to put this one here. I'm going to make you get up and move in a minute. We ask our students to be knowledgeable. Okay, we want them to know lots of things. Chinese speakers? Korean speakers? What is it to be knowledgeable in Korean? Okay, and sorry, Japanese. How do you say it? To know lots of things. You're not sure? I'll help you find the translation after. I'm going to put knowledgeable here. You guys get to be knowledgeable. We ask our students to be thinkers. Okay? Korean speakers? Sorry, Bella? Okay. We ask Chinese speakers?
Sure.
Japanese? I'm going to move this up, Alex. So you guys get to be thinkers. We ask our students to be communicators. We want them to be able to communicate with each other. What's that in Chinese, Korean, Japanese?
沟通，沟通，交流。
Korean? Okay, and Japanese? I'll help you with translations after. You guys get to be communicators. We ask our students to be principled. My son, my youngest son Finley, who's 7, principled means doing the right thing. Okay, he thinks I'm the assistant principled.
Yeah. I think so.
Anyway, principled is doing the right thing and making the right choice. What's that in Chinese and Korean and Japanese? Okay. Okay. I'll put this down here. You get to be principled. We ask our students to be open-minded. Like, they're not going to hide from new things. They want to try new ideas and find out, like, be open to new things. What's open-minded in Chinese, Korean, Japanese? Thank you. Okay, good. You get to be open-minded. I'll put it here and we'll move around. We ask our students to be caring. We ask them to be caring. We want them to care for themselves and for each other. What's caring? Okay? Okay? I'll put it down here. We ask our students to be balanced, so they're not going to spend too much time on the same thing, and they're going to try a range of different things. They know when they've had enough. What's balanced in Chinese, Korean, Japanese? Yeah? And the last one is, we ask them to be reflective. We want them to think about what's happened or what they've done and how they want to get better in the future. And also how we can get better as a group or as a whole school. You know, we know what the next steps are. Okay? So I'm going to put these down here. And I'm going to give you to use your discussions of the learner profiles with the students. You can see on my posters it says, we asked parents what it means to be an inquirer. Here's what they said. So I want you to tell me and the students when you do these things. So think about, when are you an inquirer? When are you a risk taker? When are you knowledgeable as a parent? Because I want the students to see that you are these things too. Okay, if you really want, you can put your name on it. You can write in English, in Chinese, in Korean, or in Japanese. I don't mind, because all of our students, you know, those that can read the languages will understand what it says. I would like for you to put one post-it on each of the papers, or, I mean, you can write straight on the paper if you like, I don't mind. And start a dialogue, a discussion about what it means to be these things. Because my intention is, when you go home, you'll be able to have conversations with your children to say, oh, Jasmine, can you tell me when you were an inquirer? You know, Joey, when were you a risk taker? You know, and we use this terminology on the reports, so it's how we talk about your children anyway. For you to be able to use them is important. Okay. So I have a basket of pencils. I have some post-it notes. Go ahead.
Thank you.
Doesn't put it. So you can write them on and stick them in case we run out.
There with Joey.
Take a note.
You can write it on paper or you can write it on a note and stick it on.
So we write the answer on the note and then stick on it.
Having with the kids.
So just ask one. How? What?
You did this on purpose. Yeah, Joey is understanding the pressure.
So once you've done yours, go to the other ones as well.
Oh, okay.
Okay? And then you'll get to see what other people have written as well. So you can be specific. Like, what do you do when you're solving problems?
那就是我们这个快速性考试对吧？为什么我们会有答案？当时他们会有他们会上个答案，因为这个就是一般他不会做你不会认识对，所以可是背后的人他会对吧？这些他们的 answer 会显示出来的。但是就会有，就跟他可能。你说年龄适当的这种答案，第二个是会有一些超出这个年龄范围，属于这种 creative， 对。然后呢，或者是在我们没有找到答案的话，就是做是他们的一个技能。
Students have done this before. I wasn't So when are you doing?
在考的人，这是一个过程，对吧？这个也是所有的东西都是一个过程。
You don't have to do all of this one. You can go to the other ones as well.
Is this one? Right?
Yes. Very good.
Excellent.
Yes, excellent. Now you can move to the other ones and put some other ideas on. Leave this one here so then some people will come.
The name?
You can if you like. You don't have to.
Okay.
Very good. Very good. You can stick it on the other. Yeah.
台湾之后，然后要在想，而且第一回的那个，对，就是一个可以做一个又专差的。
And now you get to see what other people have written. See?
We don't have to walk around.
No problem. I'll do the swapping. Can I do this one? Can I do this one?
knowledgeable usually use. Read is curiosity. 好奇心才是 knowledgeable 的第一关键，所以都要好奇，对吧？哦，conceptual 就是对概念性的根据对各种对吧知识的 subject 的理解，对吗？那就是basics on their skills,你之所以有给人家 knowledgeable 的感觉，就是因为有学，对吧？然后才会
You be open-minded, and then we can take the stickers.
做家长的做完了反省，我到底哪里做错了？你不是吗？是吧？我做完之后会，但是我没改。
And then you can just pass it on. Do you need a new one?
We don't need a homework anymore. Clean balance. We didn't know we had to do homework.
Yeah, I've got more stickers in the basket. Yeah. Maybe I don't have more sticky notes. You can write it.
是我儿子可特别没担心，今天早上还是完了，这两张吗？做好的笔记。
That's the box, right? Okay, good.
Everything to like the detail.
If you pass it back.
这里就这样的。
You've done that one? Okay, let me get you that one.
Yeah, principle.
啊，是啊，就是记住一定要上。 是击打，做了以后让我纠正。No.
The first one balance is we can
Oh.
when we teacher and the parents and then we know what we have in school. So it's open-minded.
对，它这个 QI
Then we can share things.
哦，对。
什么 IQID 对吧？那我明白。IQ EQ
physical, we can say
然后他说这个班是什么？我这个班是什么呢？是全面发展对，你不用想它，我们的理解就好了，因为它有官方的定义，但是我们家长定义就是这样。
Open-minded.
Yeah?
We can teach our children also to do things and can like donate sorry.
Knowledgeable?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, if you can finish up the last of your ideas and post-it notes. If you didn't get a chance to do them all, that's okay. I'm happy for you to add more at the end. Some of you, the high achievers, who want, I want to do them all. That's great. And if you can put them at the end of your table, like this, it means at the end, you can get up and see them all, and add to them if you want, and see what other people wrote.
Did I say yeah? Did I say no? No. Say no.
So I hope my intention for this activity was for you to get to know the learner profile a bit better and start to think of how you as parents can demonstrate the learner profile with your own children and be able to have conversations with them about the learner profile, because we've seen on the circles, the IB circles, it's at the middle of everything that we do. We want all of our students and teachers and parents to be knowledgeable, principled, balanced, risk takers. I sum up the learner profile as being good humans. I would just like everyone to be good humans. People ask me, why do I like the IB more than other programs? And I think these are the four, apart from the learner profile obviously, these are the four sort of takeaways that I think are what makes the IB program different and I would say better. You know, I want my children to be in IB schools until they graduate because of this focus. It's not about grades. It's not about knowing the most things. It's bigger than what subjects you take. It's about being internationally, globally minded and understanding how the world works together. It's about working on your own and being able to know your own strengths and know where you want to get better. It's about critical thinking. So many problems that the world has, you know, political conflicts and wars and disagreements between countries and between different groups of people. If there was more understanding of global mindedness and more critical thinking happening, I don't think we would have nearly as many problems. And then the other thing I love about the IB program is the give back side of it, the community service side, where it's not just about how much learning can I get and how smart can I get in school. It's what can I do with all this learning that helps other people. These are why I want my kids in IB programs until they finish school. There are other programs available. I'm not sponsored by IB. But I think IB is, among the teaching community, you know, when you talk to teachers who are working in international schools and at home, and I say I work in an IB school, those that work in IB schools go, oh, me too, and we have this great dialogue about IB. Those that don't work in IB schools go, oh, I would love to work in an IB school. I've not met teachers who go, oh, I wouldn't work in an IB school. I've never met a teacher when I'm interviewing or when I'm talking to people at conferences who says, I don't want to work in IB. Everyone either works in IB or wants to work in IB. Because everyone's heard great things about it. And just that passion from teachers is very encouraging for an IB program. I realize I made you do a bit of work today. Thank you very much for your thoughts and ideas. I'm going to share these with the students in the next few weeks. So if you put your name on it, your kid might see your post-it note. Does anyone have any questions that they want to ask? I'm happy to answer them individually if you like. I'd like to finish with what's next. There's two things that are come next. One is have a look at the rest of the Boston Parent College offerings that we're doing for this semester, and I would encourage you to come to some or all of them. And the second thing is go home and talk to your child about the IB learner profile and ask them how they were principled or how they were open-minded or how they were balanced today. And make it part of your dialogue, because they'll be able to tell you. And some of the teenagers were like, oh, mom, oh, dad. Some of the grade 5 boys, I can tell you, like, oh. But make it part of the conversation. And use it as, when you say, how was your day today? Fine. You know, that's the normal response. What did you learn in school today? Oh, we did math. What did you do in math? Oh, we were talking about such and such, such and such. And you can say, oh, that sounds like a very knowledgeable experience. Mom talks IB. So use this discussion that we've had today and you build it into your conversation with your kids. Thank you very much for coming.